What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the AM. Welcome back to 5 Minute Rants. I'm your host, Michael Abernathy, where we talk about, for 5 minutes, everything that is predicated on the journey of life. So, today we're going to talk about communication, all right? We're going to talk about why communication is so important, and we're going to talk about one of the most important aspects about communication, because there's many, but I'm going to talk about what I think is one of the most important, okay? First, communication is core to all of our lives, okay? If you look at some of the most influential revolutions in society, right? They come back to communication. The printing press, think about that. What is that all about? The communication of ideas, for ideas and knowledge to be increased through communication, right? You have the internet. What is the internet predicated on? Connectivity, but connectivity, why? To be able to communicate. Look at phones. Look at the iPhone. Look at Android. Look at Google. Look at phones. And the whole point of the connectivity via phones is to communicate. That's crazy, okay? That is why phones are so powerful. That's why the internet is so powerful, because it is all predicated upon communication. Because, great, you're connected. There's no point to connect unless you actually want to communicate. That's what a website's for. That's what social media is for. Think about social media. All social media is predicated on communicating, right? And communication happens according to all 5 of our senses, all right? You have taste, touch, right? You got sight, you got sound, you got smell. And communication happens in all 4 of those forms, right? Those are all data inputs. Those are all receptors for outside data to be taken into our body. Okay, we're not going to talk about that. What I want to talk about is auditory communication, talking, actually meeting with people face to face, talking to people and going down that path, okay? Here's why. Because I believe that as culture has transitioned, especially with COVID, so I'm a millennial, okay? My generation was more introverted, not inverted, but introverted than the generation before me. Generation Z is actually already predicted to be more introverted than my generation, and so on and so forth. And I think what is happening is we are losing the art of communication, but it's because technology is taking place over a lot of our verbal and actual face-to-face interactions, okay? But even online and with what I'm talking about, this can be applied. So when communicating, one of the most important aspects about communicating is listening, actually taking the time to listen and understand the other person or the other party on the other side, to hear what they're actually saying. And nobody does this. What happens is I find that, and I'm guilty of this, is that I will sit there and wait for my chance to say something, wait for my opportunity to chime in with my story. Okay? But that's not really what's important. The whole purpose of communication is that connection. And oftentimes in conversation, we lose that connection because we are no longer listening. And I would even argue that 90% of communication is actually listening. And because we don't tend to listen so well in a society that is now really highly technological with a lot of the communication, in a society that is really stimulated with a lot of the communication. Like you think about TikTok, the dancing, okay, cool. You're being communicated to through the music, through the sounds, through the dances. Like there's messages being sent through all of that you're receiving. And so when verbal communication is no longer stimulating because it's lacking a lot of the things that now we're being open to, we've lost the art of listening, right? Sometimes it's really boring to listen to somebody. Go to class, go to any college class, I prove it. Like you find a professor out there boring to listen to. But here's the thing is, if we're not able to listen, we're really not able to understand or see things from other people's perspectives. We're not able to actually understand where they're coming from. We're not going to understand what matters to them if we are not listening to them. And if we don't listen to them and we don't understand, there's no connection, and then there's no relation to them. And as a result, we have no relationship with them. Okay? This is integral to business, life. This is how you get along with your spouse, is listening to them, actually asking questions to understand what matters to them and why. So anyways, guys, that's it for today, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.